starters, I'm not sure that Ellis was a Virginia elite because he's not Tidewater. I mean, he's kind of a Piedmont guy in Virginia, which means something. So Tidewater, they're pretty elite. That's where all the leadership in the first generations of the United States came from. The Piedmont folks were the folks that were kind of adjacent, but not exactly part of the cool club. So the only way to have any sort of social mobility is to go someplace where those distinctions are already cast in stone. So he goes to Alabama. And in Alabama, he actually becomes a Supreme Court justice. He's involved in one of the circuit courts in North Alabama. And everything is on the make there for him. But something about Alabama just wasn't quite as attractive as what was going on in Texas. Richard Ellis has an opportunity to take a look at the Mexican relationship with the American settlers in two different contexts. So the first time he comes in is in the mid-20s. And during the 20s, the 1820s, you have everything's new and everything's bright and fresh and they're getting things sorted out. He makes friends with Stephen F. Austin and he says, this is actually kind of a place that's up on the upswing. He probably had one more great adventure ahead of him because he was getting a little old. And I think that he left Texas from that brief encounter in the 1820s thinking, I think there's a play here. So he does in fact get his affairs in order back in northern Alabama, and he then transfers everything to North Texas. And it's interesting because he chooses the part of Texas that may or may not be part of Texas. So maybe he can step over the line back into the U.S. if things go south. So he's a careful player. But the Texas that he gets to in the early 30s is different because Mexico is different. Richard Ellis, understand, is a little long in the tooth to be playing these revolution games. So when he throws in, he is sniffing the political wind and says, you know what? This place is about to break away from Mexico. How can I help? And how can that reality help me?
As the delegates met here on March 1st, the cannonballs of Santa Anna were pounding the walls of the Alamo. The 59 delegates who met here knew that they had a purpose and that they had an important job to do, and I think they were determined to do it as best they could.
I think that what Ellis brought to that convention of 1836 was gravitas. This is a guy who could quote chapter and verse from law books. He knew legal precedent. He knew how to organize government.
The difficulties facing Ellis would have been considerable. You had some very strong-willed individuals among the delegates. Probably the greatest crisis came when the delegates received information from Colonel Travis at the Alamo that he was under siege. One of the delegates, Robert Potter, made a motion that everybody adjourn and rush to the relief of the Alamo. Fortunately, cooler heads prevailed. That's the kind of hot-headed response Ellis had to contend with on almost a daily basis.
Ellis's gravitas helped bring not only the Declaration of Independence into being, but also the Constitution, because he was not crazy. And committees are oftentimes crazy, and you can lose the narrative in all of the conversation that's flying around the room. Somebody's got to keep the narrative steady. Somebody's got to keep the plot line going. And amidst all these other people that are wanting you to go down this rabbit trail or that rabbit trail, or they're trying to push this self-interest in against your self-interest, there's a lot of different things about committee work that is just naturally going to create log jams. Ellis had been there. This was literally not his first rodeo. What's remarkable to me, when you look for announcements of his death, they're all pretty brief. I mean, there is no one waxing eloquent about the great contributions of Richard Ellis, because Texas at that time period was not looking backwards. They were looking forward. And so, who's the next guy who's going to make a name for himself?
What's your name and how would you like it spelled?
Okay. My name is Zona Gardner. My maiden name is Ellis.